Have dinner with me while I grade Trump on his first 100 days. I have some chips, because they call them chips here where I am. And I'm in this very fancy hotel, which means, of course, the room is the size of my pinky finger. So I have to sit on my bed, and I have a nice little wrap, which they call a flatbread, which is just absolutely unacceptable. Oh, I didn't know if I was recording. I'm gonna tell you how it is, and then we're gonna grade Trump. You know what? I kind of thought it might be bad because I had something yesterday from room service that was like not that good. Like, how dare you? I am paying way too much. On the economy, Donald Trump is getting a C. Here's why he's getting a C. He has mainstreamed a conversation about supply chains and our reliance on foreign powers. COVID also mainstreamed this conversation, so I'm hesitant to give him too much credit, but you cannot deny that Trump's strategy of planting a flag in a very big, crazy, dramatic way, like walking out in the Rose Garden with a big cardboard box that said a bunch of bullshit, or a big cardboard thing that listed a bunch of crazy tariff rates, it gets the conversation going. It gets the people going. We're now having a very serious conversation about it. We're having a very serious conversation about the American middle class and has globalization screwed them. I give Trump credit for that conversation. But obviously, this has been chaotic, poorly communicated. We still don't know what the actual goals are. We still seem to be barreling towards a recession. The uncertainty is causing layoffs. How bad or not it ends up being will, of course, still depend on some of what he does in terms of these negotiations with China. It's important with economic policy to look at it in hindsight. So I don't want to just completely dub it a failure until we've seen more of the results. I'm averaging it out to a C. Immigration. Oh, let's talk about this. The fries are very good too, in case you were wondering. I'm giving him a C on immigration, though. No, I'm giving him a C- on immigration. Maybe a D+. He gets an A for shutting the border. I don't know enough about how many immigrants and low-skill immigrants should the United States be taking in every year. The idea that we should have absolutely zero probably isn't correct. I fully buy that we had too many coming in under Biden. I'm going to give him an A on shutting down the border because it is something he said he was going to do. It is something the American people clearly wanted done. And by all accounts I can find, he has done it. Credit where credit is due, that is an A. However, he is getting an F on these deportations. Now, before people are like, oh my God, you want illegal criminals? No, I don't want illegal criminals. Obviously, I want you to deport them. But guess what? Facts don't care about your feelings. And the facts are that an illegal immigrant is less likely to commit a crime than a native-born American citizen. Because you don't immigrate here illegally and then commit crimes and up the odds that you're gonna get fucking deported. That's stupid. People don't do that. Stupido. Yes, of course there are examples of illegal immigrants committing crimes in this country. And of course you should get those people out of the country. But American history is littered with examples of American rights being violated and stripped away under the guise of national security. So forgive me if I'm not altogether riled up by the claims that we need to be stripping away due process because of a national security issue. And what really gets my goat about this one is, of course there are going to be people, I'm just going to say it, there are people who are too stupid to understand this. There are people who are too stupid to understand why due process matters and that illegal immigrants are still entitled to due process and that it matters that illegal immigrants are entitled to due process, because if you say that illegal immigrants don't get due process, it means that you can strip anybody of due process simply by accusing them of being an illegal immigrant. But there are many people who are smart enough to understand why due process matters and in another context would fully understand why, like, the rule of law foundation, freedom foundation of this country, which relies on due process, matters enough that it is completely inappropriate that the Trump administration is denying it to people and then doing that proudly. And that really gets me riled up. Like, how dare you, if you get why this is so important, not say that this is an issue. So he's getting an F on this in the strongest terms possible. Okay. Let's go. Let's talk about wokeism and free speech. He gets a C. He's getting a C because on wokeism, he has changed the paradigm. I mean, my God, nobody's fucking woke anymore. And that is good because wokeism did go too far. I was somebody who went to college between 2012 and 2016. I can attest to the fact that it did feel like college campus culture was very stifling and it did not encourage any amount of free thinking. However, Donald Trump has ushered in right-wing wokeism in a way that is abysmal. 381 books have been removed from the Naval Academy Library. That is a government institution that is banned. 381 books, including like Maya Angelou poetry. The right-wing free speechists, absolutists who are saying jack shit about this can eat dirt. They can kick fucking rocks, because if the left-wingers had done this, when they did things like this, you heard about it endlessly.
There's something fundamentally un-American about this censorship.
And now the conservatives are doing it, and it's, mum's the word, crazy. Let me take a sip of water. Getting so riled up. The other thing that is atrocious is the executive orders against law firms. American presidents have never issued EOs, executive orders, targeting private businesses. To the extent that it has happened, and it's been fairly limited, it is wartime presidents taking over factories for munitions production and EOs targeting companies that are foreign owned for national security reasons. I get the irony based on what I said earlier about national security issues. Donald Trump's EOs targeting law firms have said that no contractor that works with the United States government can also work with the law firm that he is targeting. He has targeted many different law firms with these, which has the effect of destroying that law firm. These EOs are existential threats to the law firm's existence. That's redundant. That's what an existential threat is. You get my point. Now, these law firms should have band together. What these law firms should have done was band together to fight the administration. But he picked them off more one by one. You do have a group of law firms that is fighting the administration together. But many of the law firms, big, well-resourced firms, have decided to make a deal with Trump instead of fighting him. But that means the administration, God damn it, the administration, the government, the fucking nanny state is dictating the pro bono work of a private company, along with some other things. That is crazy. And you want to talk about infringing upon free speech. Again, the right-wingers who have no problem with this, while they would have been out of their fucking minds if the libs had done this, eat grass. I keep changing the metaphor. Whatever. You get the point. Foreign policy. If Donald Trump gets a peace deal done between Russia and Ukraine, I will give him a B+, A-, because I know that arrangement is going to be highly favorable to Russia in ways that I probably wouldn't like. But of course, he deserves credit for getting it done. Truly. I will give him an A-, B+. I have not hated his kowtowing to Russia as much as others have, because I have seen it as strategic. I have gotten more critical lately because, to me, at this point in the process, Russia is the impediment more so than Ukraine, and the fact that Donald Trump has not been ramping up pressure on Russia as much as I think he should be to get this deal done very much bothers me. If he does not get this peace deal done, he didn't get it done. The thing he was bragging about getting done on day one, he can't get done. And by the way, in the process, he looked like an ass, supported a dictator, and was shitty to an American ally. Overall, I guess that means he gets like a C. I think it balances out to that, maybe a C-. What do you guys think? Tell me your grade.